Hey guys, Jimmy here and welcome back to iRacing for another video. Today I'm going to take part in the nearest event to banger racing that iRacing has. That's right, it is GT3 at Watkins Glen. Now I know some of you are probably thinking, Jimmy, if you're looking to improve your iRacing and safety rating, then GT3 probably isn't the best place to be, and to be honest, you are probably right. But I'm up for the challenge. You know, GT3, whilst it has a bit of a negative reputation to it, also produces some of the closest racing that you will find in iRacing. And it's pretty much the only split guaranteed to go live every time with a decent field. So today we're driving the BMW Z4, specifically the TRG BMW Z4 livery designed by Sam. So thank you very much, Sam, for this awesome livery. And you can see in our livery we've got a couple of our sponsorinos on there, you know what I'm saying, with that sponsor dollar, yeah? Dodgy deals aside, I'm actually quite looking forward to taking part in this race. Like with the C7 in the IMSA video I put up a couple of days ago, I'm feeling very confident and very consistent in the car, thanks to the OSW and of course the hissing pedal pedals. I'm just feeling this absolute confidence, and like in the last race, I'm able to go out, do practice laps, and be within about 2/10 of my time each time by. It's pretty damn amazing the difference that this stuff has made. In terms of pace, I've sort of seen myself in practice sessions. I'm usually in the top 10 or so. I'm not quite in that top tier, but I'm not too far off. I'm hoping that my consistency over this 45-minute period will pay dividends. Like the IMSA race, we have a fairly low I rating, still hovering around 1.8k at the moment, and this means that there is a possibility in our race we might get put into maybe the bottom split or middle split. Depending where we put, we might actually have a chance of doing well in the race, but I won't know that until qualifying is done. Right, so I've just joined the server just before qualifying. As you can see, we are the number 9 car in a 17 car field, so we're pretty much bang in the middle in terms of I rating. So I'm going to do my best and try and come higher than 9th. I like to try and use that as an indicator. Try and do better than your number in the race is always a good sign. And yep, qualifying lap coming up. .9.5. That's a 6th. I guess that isn't too bad. So here is the full field then. So we do manage to keep our 6th position after that qualifying session, with Anthony going pole on a 48.8. So we're less than a second off pole, which I'm happy with considering it's my first GT3 race in a long time. Although I am slightly concerned. You may just be able to see at the bottom of the screen there. I have this notification showing up saying client status, client authentication failed. I have no idea what that means. It still registered my lap. It still put me on the board to everybody else. I'm hoping that it's not going to be a problem. Although I have heard about this bug sort of just through the grapevine. I'm not quite sure what it means for my race. but hopefully it won't mean that I can't drive. We'll see, I suppose. Righty, so we have just pulled away from the grid onto our pace lap here at Watkins Glen. 40 minutes of GT3 racing coming up. I'm starting with 45 litres, and we'll be putting in 40 litres at the stop, because that's what I've been told is what is correct. I haven't run this race or this sort of race for a long time, so I don't know what I've got to do. Not going to be taking tyres, so hopefully just a very quick fuel stop and then back into the action. Now, I'm on very similar pace to about the 4 or 5 cars around me, as is sort of the way with GT3. So I'm hoping I can be somewhat competitive and maybe make up a couple of places. I think first and foremost I want to finish this because of my attempt to gain iRacing and I guess SR as well. I want to try and get into that A license as soon as I can. But of course the racing instinct does take over sometimes. You sort of end up having these quite scary battles. Now, something to make mention of in the bottom left hand corner, as you can probably see, top of that relative list is Christian Michel. He is a VEC LMP1 driver, actually drove for Velez, who won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in VEC. So it's pretty cool to see him in here. Nice to know I'm only a couple of attempts off him, so it just sort of goes to show the caliber of VEC drivers. We're all idiots, really. But I guess my personal goal is to try and beat him. He's a bit faster than me around here though. He's in one of the AMG Mercs, which I'm not quite sure what the BOP is like around here, but quite a few Mercs up here, so maybe it's just a popular car, maybe it's just a car people like driving, I don't know. But saying that, there's a McLaren and a BMW up here as well, so who knows. But just making our way slowly around this pace lap now. The one car, the leader, is dropping back a little bit. I'm not quite sure why, sort of bunching up the field a little bit there. Just warming the brakes. You can hear that sort of screeching in the background. We're just riding the brakes ever so slightly, getting some temperature into them. Trying to use as little fuel as possible on this out lap. Try to get one more fuel out on my stint. My pit stop is already set up. I've just got to hit the limiter when I come to the pits, and it should all go like clockwork if things go proper. I'm running a fairly low downforce setup, but from my practice it seems that BMW does struggle a little bit in a straight line, but to be honest I've only ever seen it against the AMG, and maybe that was just because of slipstream, but we will see as the race progresses, won't we? So just now doing my sort of final preparation in my mind, getting that familiar flutter in my tummy, the post-race nerves kicking in, and it isn't nervousness for the race, it's just I want to get going, I want to get racing. It's the anticipation that makes sim racing all the more like real racing for me anyway. So starting now to bunch up as we get to the end of the lap. Of course looking for the McLaren on the right to go first. He is our pole man. Waiting for the other guys to sort of bunch up a little bit. I'm going to be on the outside for T1, so probably going to be under attack straight away. Hopefully we can get a good jump. I'm going to try and go over the McLaren, but of course don't want to be doing anything too silly at the start, so we'll launch in first gear. It seems first gear is going to be the launching gear here. Waiting for that Macca to go, There he goes. Oh, I'm stuck behind this guy. Contact already. We've lost 1, 2 places, probably 3 now going to T1. Guy on the left just does not move at the start. Thanks, dude. Should maybe have gone round him, I suppose, but I didn't think to do so. Okay, so we're down to about 8th place now, I think. But we're through in one piece. No, we're down 7th, so not too bad actually. Could have been worse. And now we've got the slipstream. Oh, a bit of understeer there. Nearly ended up in that wall on the inside. Don't want to be doing that. So easy to do that in this sort of car. So guys in front already going to be jostling for position. We're going to look for our braking mark and just do it proper. Oh, big swipe there by the Audi in front. That wasn't on. That's not cricket. We have a good run through the bus stop compared to the other cars. Going to look up the inside here. Audi defending on the outside. Inside now. Going to force that SLS AMG wide, and we're through. Nice. Position gained. Car slow on the right. That's a cut track penalty. Set up another position. Oh, a bit wide down here. Don't be doing that. So he's run wide there. Going to try and get the throttle nice. Now they're going to hold this inside line now. Going up the hill to the hairpin. Should be easy to hold it. Shorter route. Nice. Okay, good. We're through. Up into P5. So we've actually gained a place now from our grid slot. So moving in the right direction now. Mert behind me is going to have a look at the inside. I'm not going to let him do it. Have you on the brakes there to get the thing slowed down, but it's worth it. I don't want anyone trying to overtake me into that corner. It's not an overtaking corner for me. AMG is right with me. I've got to try and focus on my braking point, so I'm trying to let him intimidate me in the mirror. It's so easy for that to happen. If I can have a good last sector, I'm traditionally quite good through here, so I could use the breathing room and try and get closer to the Audi in front. Bit tardy on the first left, now into the right, down to third. Bit too tight there. Touch the curb a little bit, but no. We're going to be under attack, I think, coming into the bus stop. I'm probably not going to fight it too hard. We'll see. We'll see how hard turn 1 is. So 1 lap down, up into P5. After momentarily going down to, I think, P8. Bad T1. Oh, God, dude, what was that? There goes. There's the first off track and hopefully the last. It's really strange how those mistakes creep in the race. It's not something that I really do in practice, but in the race it really feels like it comes too easy. The Merc actually having a bit of a stutter there for me in frame rate, but we're okay. Merc having a bad run through there. I'm going to take the inside line early. No, he's not going to be close enough, so I'm going to pull back to the outside line. Nice. Now I've got to focus on trying to get onto the back of these guys now, because it's very easy to get caught up in the guy behind me. Christian's sort of driven away, which is a shame. I wanted to have a nice battle with him, but I think he's just a bit faster right now. Down the third. Come on, focus what you're doing in practice. Touch the curb on the inside a little bit. On the front one, nice and early. Right to the outside, nice. Okay, good, better. 5th gear momentarily before going back down to 2nd. Everyone takes a very weird, a different line from me through here. I take a very tight line. I just prefer it, I think. Doesn't seem to be the faster line though, but it's what I'm used to practicing, so changing it mid-race might not be the best idea. Maybe we'll try it next time around, we'll see. If on the brakes, ABS in this car of course, so we can sort of abuse the brakes a little bit. Traction control as well. Doesn't mean I can smash the throttle, I've got to treat it nicely. I've got similar to most other cars, you have to work with traction control, otherwise you're going to end up having a bad time. A little bit of push at the front there. 4th gear again now through probably my favourite corner on the circuit when I get it right. Nice fast left-hander. Audi goes a bit wide there, gets up into the curb. That's going to allow me to get that a little bit closer. Hopefully get a little bit of a tow going up to the bus stop next lap. Another lap down. Laps passed very quickly here. Well, we say that. It's a minute 40 odd lap round here, but they passed quick enough. Let's focus on my braking for T1 this time. Oh, OSW there. Just trying to break my wrists. Cheers to that dude. Right, hopefully I'm close enough to get a bit of a tow here, because that AMG is quite close to me. I don't want to be defending into the bus stop. Because defending into the bus stop loses you an absolute ton of time. Okay, yeah, we're actually starting to pull a little bit on the Audi in front. AMG is pulling on us though. He shouldn't be close enough. He's going to have a look though, I think. No, I'm not going to give it to him. No, he's not quite close enough. He thinks better of it there. He was very close to being able to have a chance. Audi goes very wide there. I'm going to go up the inside here. He's sitting on the outside, not giving me any room, doesn't have to. Gives me the place, nice, up to P4. I think the Audi actually went off there. Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Did he just disconnect or something? He just disappeared. But up to 4th place, leaders are in sight. 3rd place in front as well, good. Keep his consistency up, Jimmy. Taking the AMG behind us with us though. He's intent on staying with us and joining the fun, as I would be. Just checking my recording for a second there. I always get paranoid I'm not recording in this sort of race. Oh, just running over the curb a little bit on the outside. Like to live dangerously, me. Nice and tight. Don't touch the curb. There you go. Nice, nice. 4th again through this left-hander, which I adore when I get it right. I hate when I get it wrong. When you get it wrong, you go off into the grass there, and it's quite embarrassing. Ooh, rear end starting to get a bit feisty. Need to be a little bit less aggressive with my brake transition. So we've got a bit of a gap behind us now. We shouldn't come under threat in the bus stop if I don't make an absolute tit of the first corner. We'll see. Up into 4th though, and proceeds to make a tit of the first corner. No, we've got enough room. We've got 0.6. We should be good. Guy in front is 2 seconds on us, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to be faster or slower than him throughout the lap. The guys at the front are starting to come a bit close together, so I can hope they fight a bit, although now the SLS or the AMG sorry is getting a good run. Now the overspeed, but it isn't going to quite be close enough again. I'm happy of that, because I haven't really got much of a defence there. Really playing it close there of the off tracks. Come on Jimmy, you're driving a bit sloppy at the moment. Run it nice and wide, going to leave it in 4th. You know you have a good run down there when you hit 5th, but sometimes you have to keep it in 4th and just run against the limiter. Looks like Stefan's actually quite strong at the moment. Going to try a different line through here. It was okay, it felt a little bit unnatural though. Stefan's going to probably have a chance to have a go at me into the bus stop At this rate, he's pretty quick this part of the lap so far, or this lap so far, I should say. Front is starting to wash a bit. You're seeing it slide out from underneath me, making sort of keeping this gap quite difficult. There you go, a little bit of a brake there, a little bit of a dab of the brake just to get the nose of the car turned into the corner, just to get it facing the way I wanted to face. Rotation is important in this car, and this is where I find these pedals to be so much better than my T500 pedals, is that they detect the slightest touch. Of course, you can calibrate that dead zone to your liking, but they detect the slightest sort of touch, so it means when I am actually hitting the brake between the corners, it's actually picking it up, whereas on the T500 pedals, oh my god, Jimmy, come on, you need to get T1 better. I was touching the brake, but nothing was happening, so now, because of that awful T1, I'm going to be under threat into the bus stop. I cannot get T1 right this race so far. Really struggling with it. The guy in front doesn't seem to be actually pulling away from me at all, which is good. I'm actually going to go defensive this time. He's not going to be close enough. He is. I'm going to have to just... He didn't want to do that, but he wanted to try and go to the outside, so I have to make it nice and clear that I'm not going to allow it. After all, fighting for fourth position, possibly a podium if anything happens up front. Of course, I'm hoping my pit strategy is correct, of course, because with gaps that are as marginal as this, if my pit strategy is wrong, I'm going to end up losing out big time, and I always assume that everyone around me knows what they're doing compared to me, so I'm hoping that isn't the case, and I maybe get it right for a change. So again, tight. I just like the tighter line there, it feels better. I think maybe if I'm losing a bit of time there, it's worth it for the sake of feeling secure in that case. Now, I'm not too upset actually about losing to Christian, or Christian pulling away from me, because he is one of the fastest drivers in VEC, so I'm sort of not surprised that he's pulling away from me. Of course, my ego will have to fight to live another day, but my ego is non-existent anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're actually being caught now by some of the guys behind. I think there's a little bit of a train forming behind me now, the Broadbent train. Choo-choo, boys! Okay, better out of the last turn now. So, let's focus on T1. Let's focus on getting it right and getting it turned in nicely. See, that was just too slow this time. My entry is just too slow. My exit's okay, but my entry is far too slow. Now I'm going to have to go to defensive and stay there, I think. I think I'm under real risk now of losing this position, because I can't get the car slowed down for T1. It doesn't feel like it wants to cooperate with me at all. So he's probably going to have the line here. I'm going to try and keep it. No, I have to pull out of it. I can't do that. That isn't going to work. We can try and cut back under though. Oh, he stops on the apex there. I had to hit the brakes there to stop myself going to the back of him. But now I'm going to have a slipstream, so hopefully I won't be falling back too much. Good move there by Stefan. Sorry, yeah, it's Stefan. Too many Stefans in this race. I'm going to probably start falling back a bit now, I think. Some guys seem to be finding their pace. Very bumpy along here. Hear the car bumping a lot, the revs rising. My lines are so different from everyone else. Maybe my lines are wrong. Doesn't matter though, just focusing on trying to get through the race right now. This is my first race on Z4 for a long time, so to be running competitively, I'm happy at that at least. Now, I've been sort of faster through here a couple of times through it, see if I can still be faster. Yeah, I just seem to have a bit more pace there for this last part of the course, but everywhere else, Stefan's faster, it feels like. Bad last turn though, but again, we're going to have a slipstream all the way up the hill, but he's a lot better for the first corner than me, so I might just lose it there. So he has a slide as well there, and goes very wide. Yeah, we're going to have that slipstream all the way up the hill now, so we can stay with him. I'm probably not going to fight him too much, because I'm very aware of the guy behind us. I just lift a little bit there, because I can feel the car pushing, and that's always a bad thing when that wall is there waiting to claim you. Yeah, I think that AMD has a bit more straight line speed than me, and even in the slipstream I'm not really gaining. Perhaps I'm running too much wing. Well, Stefan gets that wrong though. And again, we'll have a little nose up the inside. He covers it off. Just trying to focus on my braking zones because it's always easy to follow someone. There's so much easier to follow someone than it is to be the one leading. Behind me I've got Manuel though, so he started above me I think, so I'm sure he's looking to try and gain his positions back. I think this is the car that had to slow down because of a penalty or something. So I'll keep one eye on the mirror and one eye in front. That's the joy of GT3, there's always something going on track. He sort of shows me the nose and nearly runs to the back of me. Come on dude, relax. I'll not be happy if you punt me. Stefan very wide there, very wide indeed. There you go, nice, okay. And that's slipstream again. We're a lot closer than we were last lap. I might actually have to make a move here and get a car between me and well, he's looking quite feisty. Then make a move, I've got to actually get through T1 first properly. Oh, bump there. Big bump, I love feeling that in the OSW. Again, not quite close enough, and I'm just slow and throttling. Yellow flag ahead, that's never good. Oh, it's clear luckily. I'm probably going to lose a place here. I can't really do anything about it, unfortunately. I'm going to have to let it go. Because he is not giving me any room there. He just completely just ignores me. That's how you overtake, Jesus Christ. Absolutely cuts me off like I don't exist. But he's through. And now, well, I've got to look. I'm starting to fall back a bit now. I'm starting to fall off, it feels like. Oh yeah, I slid the car through there and now I'm suffering. See the tyres a bit warmer. iRacing overheating. Please, so that guy in front there, I'm pretty sure this is still open. This is still open. There's nowhere near finish yet. But those Mercs in a straight line are mighty. I have absolutely no response to them whatsoever. Pull it in. All I can do is stay in touch and hope they make a mistake now. Down to P6, which is where we started. Using Thurger here for the first time. Got to try and make sure Francis doesn't get too much closer to us now, because that'll be another place gone and I don't want to be finishing lower than my qualifying place. That's a bad race in my opinion. The 5 laps of fuel. We'll be pitting in soon for our stop, which I'm told is mandatory. I really hope it is right now, because you're probably laughing at me if it isn't at this point. I wish I was better through T1. I'm so bad through there. I feel it every lap as well. I feel it. I see the cars behind gain, the cars in front pull away. It's my weakest corner on the circuit, it feels like. I just can't get the car to rotate the way others seem to be able to. Getting a little bit of a draft, though not much, just a sliver at this point. Hopefully Manuel and Stefan fight, because then it means that I can possibly come back into the fray. Easy now. I am starting to struggle a bit on tyres, it feels like. The objective of the race is to do the whole race on a set of tyres, which is easy enough, but I think I'm just driving them a bit hard at the moment. See the traction control having to be intervening a lot more than it was before. I'm down in the 51s now. I want to try and get back into the 50s really for my lap time. That's too tight, Jimmy. Oh, get off the grass, dude. Ooh, really running that one as wide as I dare. So I'm just going to put my fuel on now. I haven't got many laps left, my nose around me. Oh my god, so bad. So bad through there. What is wrong with me? I don't understand. I'm just going to check how long we have left in this race. Yeah, fuel will be good. Hopefully I've done it right this time, unlike IMSA where I've just short field. That'll be disastrous if I do that again. That'll be ultimate sad boys. Better, come on. Be smoother. You're being a little bit too ragged right now, Jimmy. Just allowing the guy behind you to sort of stay in touch when you should be pulling away. Case in point, nearly bloody loop it coming into the... Oh, come on, rear tyres. Get it together. Guys in front looking at each other at the moment, which is good. Please investigate each other's racing lines more so I can steal them. That's better. Be softer, Jimmy. That's it. Be softer. Oh, that corner's going to take me, I think, in that race. In this race, if I'm not careful. The gap is sort of consistent to the guy behind. I want to try and keep it that way. 3 laps at the line. Doesn't help that I keep bloody sliding it into T1. It really doesn't. But that's how I get through it. It's how I get through it at any sort of speed, you know. I'm still watching the guys in front. I'm still waiting for them to have a pop at each other and help me out a little bit. I'm feeling I'm going to be left waiting for a little while longer yet. Of course, everyone's got a pit in this race. Mandatory pit stop. So that'll keep things spicy. I hope so anyway. If not, I am royally boned. That was nice through there. Gained a little bit on the cars in front through there. Oh yeah, that's faster, isn't it? Look at that relative come down on my time there. Guy I'm behind is definitely gaining. Not sure there's much I can do about it at this point. I'll just keep driving my line and try and be consistent, but second guessing myself in the throttle like that is not going to be helping. The fuel's coming out as well, so the car is getting a bit faster, a bit more agile, but at the same time the tyres are going the other way, so sort of hover around the same pace for a while. Oh. Again wide there. Come on, Jimmy, you've got to be careful, mate. You're going to end up really having a bad time soon. 2 laps at the line. That felt better. Whether it was or not, I'm unsure. I was on the throttle pretty damn early there. The important thing is the guy behind does not get any of my slipstream, because the AMG does seem to be, from what I can tell so far, just faster in a straight line than the Sledge 4 is. So this is where I'm sort of under most threat, is on the straight. That might be a cut track. Somehow it isn't. 10 out of 10, go me. Most purposeful line. 2017, definitely meant to do that. Oh, give me third when I ask for it, please, gearbox. Don't mess me about now, mate. There you go, good. Wide there. We'll just touch that curb on the outside. Makes things nice and easy. Again, hitting 5th before the hairpin is a good sign. Doing that is a bad thing. Been nice. Even though I'm on traction control, you can see through there I'm nice and easy coming onto the throttle. Trying to avoid that traction control as much as I can. Traction control is a bad thing. You don't want to have it interfering too much. For this race, it's here for me for safety, so I don't loop it like an arse. But You have to also work with it. I've said that several times. You have to make sure you aren't just on it all the time, otherwise one, you're using a lot of fuel, and two, you don't really go anywhere. You sort of just flounder in corners a little bit. It's better to try and avoid using it when you can. So I'm going to be in next lap. I'm not sure that's going to account with other people's strategies. I'm hoping that other people are going to be pitting in this race, or I'm going to be ultimate sad boys. Again, not bad through there. There behind, definitely closer than he was before. He might be able to have a go actually coming into the chicane. We'll see though. I am falling back still. The Z4, in my hands anyway, is not matching up to these AMGs, it seems. Well, there's a guy, I think the Z4 a bit further up, so he's doing a lot better job than I am. Oops, slow car. Can't see who that is. It's like a car off at the bus stop there. I think pulled off maybe to either get out of the way or made a mistake. Hard to tell. Right, easier turn in there. See how nice and smooth that was, Jimmy. Good on the tyres, but a little bit slow. The AMG behind closes up a little bit more. I feel like we are going to be on our own in this race, unable to fight, it seems, but you know, we're in this lap, so I'm going to keep my pad near me. Got to hit Y on my gamepad for the pit limiter, because the feel when no button box on rig or the buttons on wheel. I'm pretty sure tyres are not selected. If they are, then also rip me. I'll have a chance to have a quick look in the pit lane. Well, there you go. So we're in tyres not selected. Okay. And hopefully this is going to be our only stop. Hopefully it will go nice and swimmingly. Again, hoping that everyone else stops as well, because it just seems to be just me in the pit road at the moment. Someone else in here. Anthony's in here. Oh no, Anthony's a leader. So Anthony's had an issue somewhere. Come on, dude. Quick. Optional repairs. I don't know where that's come from. Probably hit the curb too hard or something. If that 40 litres there on the fuel gauge, so I'm going to nail it. And here we go. And away then. Good enough stop. We'll be joined on the exit. The car just behind us. I'm not quite sure where we come out. P12 if the relative is to be believed. And now these laps are important. These are laps that need to be fast and furious. I really don't want to be passed by Fernando go straight away, so I'm going to pull to the inside, defend the line. He doesn't bother to challenge me, that's good. Because if he is slow at traffic, I do not want to be stuck behind him. That is the ultimate bad thing to happen. See here the tyres scrubbing quite a bit. Obviously now we're on the same level of tyres, but with more fuel, the car's going to be a little bit more lethargic than it was before, but we should be okay. It's not too difficult. And this fuel should see us to the end of the race. If it doesn't, again, ultimate sad boys. There's a lot of ultimate sad boys in this video. Okay, nice. I'm using all the tarmac on the exit there, so I'm going to just set my sights ahead. Matthias ahead. We'll aim for him for now in the AMG. Good to have something to do, even if you aren't in contention at the front. Obviously, I'm essentially chasing lap time right now, but chasing the car's a lot easier. You can't actually see it. Nice out there. I remember last time I did a race round here in the IMSA in the C7, I was actually faster after my pit stop because I think the tyres cooled down a bit. There you go, someone's coming into the pits now, so I think pit stops are starting to happen. I've taken mine sort of relatively early, it seems, compared to others. We will see though. Oh my god, and you see behind me, that gap now to Fernando. That's why I did not want to be stuck behind him, because look at that in terms of track real estate. That's how much time I would have lost if I was stuck behind him, so it was important that I defended there into the bus stop. like the guy in 5th has pitted. I think maybe I have ruined my pit stop a little bit. I'm in the pits for quite a while there. We'll have to wait until everything's all played out to see where we are in the grand scheme of things. I'm hoping to still be sort of 6th or so. We'll see. Easy, easy, easy. Although having Manuel only 10 seconds up the road does not bode well, it seems, for my strategy. But of course, this is as much a learning experience as it is me trying to improve my iRating. It's important to me to do this sort of thing, learn the intricacies of the series, and then that way I can be better, faster, and just more knowledgeable of the car and the best way to race it. So I'm going to just keep my eye on that gap in front, I think. Keep my eye on Manuel's gap and just try and bring that down as much as I can. Sometimes you don't have to be right behind someone to pressure them. Put in some fast laps, they see the relative crumbling, then they will maybe panic themselves and try and go a bit faster, and that's when a mistake can creep in. So you have to sort of try and really push that. Also at the same time while keeping yourself safe, which is, it's just a balancing act racing. There's so many different factors that can come into it. Oh, give me the gear when I want it, please, car. So let's have a look. Yeah, I think I've lost a bit of time to the guys around me. I think my pit stop might have been a bit early. I think other people are going for the longer stint at the start and the shorter fuel stop, which I think probably would be the better idea in this scenario. But again, this is my first race, so I wanted to try and do the 50-50 split and see how that felt. But at the start of the race, my pace wasn't entirely there, so probably worth it in the future just to have a little bit of more fuel in the tank and defend a bit stronger, I suppose. But of course, the goal is to finish, I guess, ahead of my iRating, which is now, seeing as I think 6th is probably off the cards, it's going to have to be the goal for now, which will still be something. Nice and easy. There you go. Car actually feels okay right now. It doesn't feel too bad at all. Not quite as, of course, sprightly as it was at the start of the race with the fresh tyres, but that's just part of the experience in it. Captain Manuel is sort of stable. It's not really going up or down at the moment, but hopefully he'll maybe I can make him flustered. No, I'm not really. So leader's in now, so they're going to take less fuel and probably come out quite a bit before me, which is frustrating. But this is good now because everyone else is starting to pit in. My door slams in the background. Windy day today, it seems. Let's see how badly we've messed this up, shall we? Oh, okay. Unless Manuel was a slow car before, and maybe he has to pit again, I don't know, we'll see. Let's see. Are we going to make up any places in the pit stop? Not yet, it seems. Still running in P10, which isn't looking good. Finally start doing T1 a bit better now, which is, I guess that's an improvement, I suppose. Slightly gaining on Manuel, slightly. So I'll keep pushing that as much as I can. Fernando 3 seconds back now, so again, definitely the right decision to stay ahead of him when I had the chance to. Nice through the bus stop, got to try and keep it nice and composed through there. Very easy to get off track and very fast part of the circuit at the curbs, can quite easily unsettle the car as well, so you've got to make sure your setup is good in those curbs. Otherwise you end up just losing an absolute ton of time. Oh, sliding into there. Alright, let's warm those tyres up. One way of doing it, I am gaining hand over fist though on Juan Carlos, who is in 7th place. Or was in 7th place, he's now in 8th. Jimmy, come on. Same with Adam as well, catching in pretty quickly, leader in now as well, so the top guys seem to have had this gone a bit longer. I guess next time I'll try that. It's an interest. I guess the strategy was just to see how to get through the race, but if you're looking at the strategy as objective, of course I didn't mean to do it, it would be sort of to try and be quick in the first stint, maybe cause some hassle, and then have to suffer a bit in the pit stop and be at the same sort of speed in the second stint, but others seem to be going for the slower first stint and then having a a smaller fuel stop, which I think does actually make more sense. But so guys in the pits now. Hopefully we'll make some places back up here. So we're going to make 2. Are we going to make 3? I think we are. Check my relative in a second. Yeah, Francis is 7 seconds up the road now. Come on. So sort of now I'm just driving to lap times at the moment, which my lap times are good, sort of saying in the 50s, which is where I want to be right now. Stefan, yeah, all the other guys have gained a little bit of time on me. I'm not sure, I'll see where I am when I come across the line. I'm not sure where I'm going to be though. I think I'm probably in about 6th or so, maybe 7th. It's hard to tell. So all I can really do now is just try and drive consistently. Try and drive to a point where if someone does make a mistake, I can be there to capitalise on that. Right now, I'm pretty far back, although Francis is about 7 seconds up the road. You can just see him there coming through the hairpin. Call it the hairpin. It's not really a hairpin, is it? But you get the idea. And the gap to Manuel again, staying at the same sort of time. We have similar pace, him and I, it seems. That fuel choice is absolutely a stab in the dark and not quite the right decision here, but you know, not awful. Not the worst decision I could have made. Should have taken tyres. That would have been the worst decision I could ever make. Oh, don't die, Jimmy. Come on, mate. That was a really bad last sector. See, I lost nearly a second on my last lap there, which is not what I want to be doing. Have people in the pit lane. Okay, I'm not sure where I am. I'm in P6, it seems, which isn't actually, that's good. That's about where I was before the stops. Lost some time, but that's about where I was before the stops, and now I've got to hope that there is some sort of action up front which brings you back into contention, because on pace it is not really going to happen, I don't think. You can just about see Francis there in the distance. As sort of scary as I dare through the bus stop there, I don't want to be putting too much more on the car through there, just because I'll end up being killed. Try and release the steering early as I can for that corner and just avoid scrubbing the tyres as much as I was. That's bad through there. It's bad. If you have to get back on the throttle after braking, you know it's a bad corner. Oh, traction control, please. Be better. I do hope we're up into P6, so that'll be alright. I'll be okay with sort of placing 6th after this. Starting to get a bit ragged now. I need to really focus on driving my line properly, because at the moment I'm just not doing it. Or focus on getting in nice and tight, and then on the throttle. There you go. 3rd in. Good. I wonder if it's going to be a fight in front. I really hope there's going to be, because that's the only way I'm going to make up any more places now. Yes, I confirmed I am in P6, and burning the rear tyres through there just for a laugh. I wonder where Christian is. Is Christian at the front? Because I know the other guy who was leading is still in the pits. I think Christian might be leading the race. I won't know until the race is over, of course. Speaking of which, how much do we have left? About 10 minutes or so. Okay. Good on fuel. That was a good bus stop. Why can't they all be like that? Even in this race, where I think I've driven okay, I've not driven fantastically. I think that still the consistency shows, you know, the ability for me to put in very similar lap times throughout the race is something that I should be happy with, and I should take that away from the race as opposed to my sort of bungled pit stop. trying to be soft again, trying to work that traction control. Looks like Stefan and Manuel might come together before the end of the race. And given how Manuel was very, how should we say, firm with his overtake, we might see the same up ahead and we might see an incident. Of course, I don't wish incidents on anyone, but in a purely selfish way, racing being a selfish sport, I would very much like to get into that top 5. Easy, there you go. Soft, good. So gear in, touch that curve a little bit on the inside. I don't like doing that really, it sort of unsettles the car a little bit. You don't really get maximum grip doing it either. We're back in the 50s. Yep, I'm enjoying those lap times. Let's keep those up. Thing is though, even I think if I had a good pit stop, I'm not sure if I'd be in contention. We're running, the pace is so similar at the moment that, well, me and Francis are sort of staying at the same sort of rate, whereas Manuel is a bit further away, you know. 5 laps of fuel, okay. Hopefully we've got enough to get to the end. If not, then I'm gonna have to cruise it. I've got a little bit of a gap behind me, so hoping to get that notification a little bit later, I'm not gonna lie. Again, we should be okay. I think we're nowhere near 5 laps left, but I always panic when I hear the fuel warning because I know I've ruined it before. I like that you can go a bit wide there and not getting off track. It makes me happy. Although what does it, there is sort of quite a big inconsistency of iRacing off track, which I think needs to be addressed, to be honest. Someone sort of needs to go to the tracks and make an absolute rule, because some tracks you can just run with a wheel off a circuit and it doesn't matter. Do that at Spa, for example, and you get absolutely punted by the by your safety rating. Take for oh. Okay, that was scary. Bit up on the outside, very slippy it seems. And double check again the time left in the race when I get to a point that's safe on the circuit and I can do that. Front straight will do nicely. There you go, white flag, so we're good. I haven't got to worry about fuel whatsoever. Looking like it's probably going to be a P6, but it's okay, we'll keep going. I'm happy so far to say we've only had the one incident. And then the worst T1 of all time, where I just burn the tyres. Look at that, half a second lost straight away. Doesn't really matter, I'm not going to be catching anyone. But this race has been alright, it's been okay. For my first race back in GT3, it's not been too hectic. The start was pretty fun, it was good to fight with the guys at the start, but of course my pace sort of waned a little bit as the race got on. What I think I need to do is to be better on my tyres. I feel like I'm being quite abusive to my tyres and that's really affecting me throughout the race. I also think that I need to work better on setup, because the setup I've got here is essentially just the baseline with a couple of adjustments to the ARB, and that's about it. So I need to really start getting into setup a bit more now that I have the equipment to be able to feel it out properly, you know. That's something I've got to learn on my own, and hopefully I'll actually go away and do that at some point, because I say I'm going to do lots of things and never really do them half the time. Ooh, but it's not been a bad debut for the TRG Z4. I'll take 6th place. I know we're probably in the bottom split because my iRating is pretty damn low. But yeah, I think that's not a bad run at all. So just going to focus now on getting through the last couple of corners cleanly. No more safety rating hits, please. Should probably put us at a 4.0 in B. Let's hope so anyway. It should hopefully give us another boost at our iRating. Hopefully giving us the boost to get to 1900. That would be cool. So easy for the last corner. Not even trying anymore. You can see the time just peeling away now. And there you go then. There is 40 minutes at Watkins Glen, and we come home in 6th place in the debut of the TRG Z4. I am happy with that result. I think I did alright there. Of course, there's always something you can do better. I think I'll be a bit more consistent, a bit better with the tyres, I suppose. The consistency wasn't bad though, actually. But I would like perhaps next time to be a bit better on the tyres and be able to be in a position at the end of the race where I can actually fight with people and not be sort of on my own. But guys, if you enjoyed that video, then please hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, hit subscribe to be notified of future videos. Take care guys, have an awesome day. See you all next time.